Battlefield footage circulating online claim a Ukrainian sniper attached to the Azov formation engaged and killed several Russian combatants who were conducting reconnaissance and strike runs on motorcycles. In recent social media posts and short video clips shared widely within pro-Ukrainian channels, a sniper identified only as belonging to the Azov battalion formation is shown, according to captions and commentary, taking precise shots at a group of Russian soldiers traveling singly and in pairs on motorcycles. The footage and posts assert the shooter engaged the riders one by one as they approached or withdrew along a rural road, disabling and killing multiple combatants. The Azov unit originated as a volunteer militia early in the 2014 conflict and was later incorporated into Ukrainian National Guard structures. It has been a prominent and controversial actor, praised by some Ukrainians for its battlefield performance and criticized internationally because of extremist elements among early volunteers. Since 2014, Azov has served in conventional defensive and offensive roles alongside other Ukrainian forces. And hunted by drones, stalked by snipers, and surrounded by minefields, soldiers fighting in Ukraine can't risk even a small lapse in concentration. For 4 months, Russian troops have been trying to seize the eastern Ukrainian village of Sinkivka. On a map, this looks easy. Their forward position is on the edge of a forest. It is a mere 500 meters away from the Ukrainian front line and a shattered collection of cottages. Every few days, the Russians attack. Their forays across open ground end in the same way: complete disaster. Armored vehicles with men perched on top speed across a landscape of moon-like craters and splintered trees. Soon it goes wrong. Some blow up on mines, others panic and reverse. The Ukrainians pick off fleeing infantry with drones and artillery. Typically, all the Russians die. "It's really fucked up down there," Gleb Molchanov, a Ukrainian drone operator, said, showing video he took from above the battlefield 4 miles northeast of the city of Kupiansk. The images are gruesome. Bodies can be seen lying in a zigzag trench and frozen hollows. Nearby are the burnt-out carcasses of BMP-1 fighting vehicles, at least 10 of them. Despite this, the Russians keep trying. Almost 2 years after Vladimir Putin's all-out invasion, Ukraine has abandoned its offensive. Instead, it is employing a strategy of active defense, keeping the Russians back and waging the occasional counterpunch. Moscow, meanwhile, wants to go forward. It has mobilized tens of thousands of troops in the Kupiansk area. Many are former prisoners, recruited directly from jail and serving in Storm Z units. The Kremlin has 2 immediate goals. One is to take back Kupiansk, the gateway to Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv. Another is to capture the salient town of Avdiivka, not far from the occupied regional capital of Donetsk. So far, Moscow has been unable to achieve either military objective. In the process, it has lost spectacular numbers of troops, tanks, and equipment. The difficulties experienced by Russia in Sinkivka point to a wider problem facing both armies. It's a war of armor against projectiles. At the moment, projectiles are winning, Molchanov said. The Russians had some tactical success flushing out Ukrainian soldiers from the forest and a few villages. But a significant breakthrough was almost impossible, he said, in an era of cheap and lethally accurate drones. The result of Ukraine and Russia's extensive use of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, is a kind of warfare that makes traditional NATO doctrine pretty much obsolete, Molchanov said. First-person view kamikaze drones cost $400 each. They are bought from the online Chinese marketplace Alibaba, he said. Nobody really knows how to advance right now. Everything gets smashed up by drones and artillery, he said. Kupiansk was captured by Russia on day 3 of the invasion, but lost 7 months later. Putin has reportedly ordered his generals to seize back by the spring territory along the east bank of the Oskil River on which the key railway city sits. That includes Sinkivka, a one-time hamlet of 3 roads and a clubhouse, as well as the neighboring villages of Petropavlivka and Kucherivka. From his windowless basement office, he pointed out that previous Russian deadlines to take Ukrainian territory had come and gone. Moscow's meat grinder tactics were ineffective, he said, adding, "They don't care about human life, including their own people, or us. What happens next depends on whether Kyiv gets more weapons from the civilized world," Besedin said. "We have enough to defend, maybe, but it isn't enough to beat the enemy." He said arguments in Washington where Republicans in Congress have blocked $61 billion in security assistance to Kyiv had a huge effect on Kupiansk and the fate of the 3,500 people who remain there. With its troops stuck, a vengeful Russia pulverizes the city. Last year, it destroyed Kupiansk's museum, killing its director and the apricot-painted Palace of Culture. It bombed the hospital, polyclinic, and hilltop administration building. The market, meat processing factory, and Universal Fish Company have been hit too. The latest civilian victim, 53-year-old Olena Lashkova, died in a strike on Thursday at her home in Kupiansk-Vuzlovi. Besedin said Kupiansk was once a sweet place, with factories, jobs, and schools. In summer, couples strolled in its landscape park while children swam in the river and played under willows. He said his predecessor as mayor had given up the city without a fight and then vanished, presumably to Russia. Asked whether Kupiansk had a future, Besedin answered, "Yes, we can help when the Donetsk and Luhansk regions are liberated." Despite Moscow's onslaught, Besedin said some local residents refused to leave. "We ask them every day. We have a hotline, but it depends on them," he said. In September and January, the authorities carried out a forced evacuation of parents with children from under-fire villages. There are no civilians left in Sinkivka, but a few inhabitants, most of them elderly, cling on to their homes in nearby settlements, defying S-300 missiles and aviation bombs. Many become casualties. Inna Diakiv, a neurosurgeon at Kharkiv's regional hospital, said patients from Kupiansk and the surrounding district told her they wanted to be self-reliant. They say they are guarding their properties or are unable to leave because of pets. A tiny number are waiting for the Russians to come back, Diakiv believed. They don't say this openly. You can guess. Russia is why they got shrapnel wounds. It's crazy, she said. Predictions that Russia would launch a massive offensive in early January against Kupiansk turned out to be wrong. The governor of the Kharkiv region, Oleh Syniehubov, said the enemy was regrouping. Last week, Russian forces had launched 2 to 5 attacks a day, compared with 15 to 20 over New Year. They had not assembled a strike group in the area, and winter conditions were making operations difficult. Molchanov said Moscow had yet to come up with a plan that would allow it to breach Ukraine's defensive line. "We are in a kind of technological stalemate right now," said the drone operator. Asked whether the Russians could break through, he replied, "The game is with them. They decide where and when to attack, but I don't think they can get Kupiansk. Neither side can win without a trick or innovation."